Welcome to Fishing for Bees. This is my YouTube channel on swarm catching and beekeeping. The yard's getting cleaned up, getting a little bit smaller. If you're interested in seeing the clean out of the dead outs, as exciting as that is, it'll be in another video. So now we're going to focus on the living, and we're very grateful that we have 3 strong colonies. You can see by the activity, they're very happy today. So what we're going to do is we're going to check and make sure they have enough food. The feed is important. We got some Hive Alive up here. I'm not going to pull frames. I'm not going to check for brood. I'm not going to check for a laying queen. A lot of times I ask myself, if I discover that they're broodless or there isn't a laying queen or there's some type of an issue, what can I do about it? Well, I'm not going to donate an egg frame from any of these other colonies and set them back. Also, if they were able to produce a queen, she's not going to get mated well. The drones aren't available yet in Michigan. So I just let it continue to go. Let it continue to take the course. There's no sense pulling frames because there's nothing I can do. Anything I discover, I'm not going to try and fix, especially with donation of frames or purchasing a queen from down south or any of those things. I'm not treating with oxalic acid yet. We will soon. But we're just going to get inside here and check for feed. And I'll show you a little bit of that. Before we do all that, I'm going to put some gear on and I'm going to set up a swarm trap on this end. And I'm going to leave it here. The nice thing about this swarm trap is it's got a solid bottom. It's going to be ratchet strapped. So it's an easy grab and go if there's a shakedown swarm somewhere. That's what I'm going to do in all my yards. I'm going to leave a swarm trap sitting right on the hive stand. We got to rebuild. We got to get our populations back up as it is right now that we know of. We have 5 colonies. I'm not going to let these build out too big in this yard because they need to move to the other yard and go into production. So they're going to leave out of here as 10 frames, and that'll come up in another video. I'll show you how I do that, how I move bees. So let me get geared up and we'll set up the swarm trap and we'll do a quick look. So here we go. These are becoming one of my favorite swarm traps. These nuke boxes with a solid bottom. This doesn't have to be slanted at this time or tilted forward. So we're going to open up the entrance. The bottom box is going to remain empty. The top is where our bait comb is going to go. This is dated 22, so going on its 3rd year. This is a plastic foundation. We're down to probably less than 10% plastic foundation across the board, but we still have them. You see these are well scented. That's a 23. These may have had wax moth damage, but I try and leave at the top some comb. This one's got a little more pollen than I would like. Also, this is funny because this is one of the first ones I did. I thought crossing it reinforced this stronger. It didn't. This one I need to run some fishing line on, so I'll put that on the end, and I'm going to mark it. I'm going to push these together in case somebody does move in. It's very early, but as I said, I got to rebuild. And many people have been lucky enough to catch a colony exactly where they intend to keep bees. I am using the inner cover because if they do move in, they're going to need some venting. I like to put it so you pull up so you can get these good and tight. So what can be expected is this is going to have some activity at it on nice days. For the first couple nice days, they were visiting dead out colonies. They've already got the opportunistic foraging bug going in this yard where they're robbing out dead outs, right? But it's going to be colder. It's March. I'm not rotating colonies or nothing. We have to remember it's March. Let's not get ahead of ourselves with this beautiful spring. Now maybe it's the end of winter, but in my experience it's not. So I don't want to rotate colonies, break up clusters. We saw in one of our dead outs that they were spanned between the top box and the bottom box, so their cluster, right, was in this area. You rotate it. Now this bottom cluster is on the bottom. This top cluster is on the top. You've just separated the cluster. We go into some days that are the teens, that's going to be a problem. So I'm not doing that. We're going to take a quick look at these. And here's our swarm trap for the season. As I said before, I just take these rocks off if there's a shakedown swarm somewhere in the area or an emergency. Just take these rocks off, super light, on our way. Got everything I need as far as frames. Possibly always have another 5 frames to go with it in case it's a big one and you want to just pack it out now, but it's a good little transport. I really am starting to like these attached bottom boards for swarm traps. I do not like them for keeping bees in because I like to tip to check for swarm cells, and you can't tip. And if they start putting swarm cells down here at the bottom, you got to pull all those frames out to look for swarm cells. That I don't like so much. But as far as for catching bees and running around for shakedown swarms and all that good stuff, love them. I got these from Mum's Bees, Bob Mumby up in Fremont, Michigan. Just this bottom part. And then it's a different lid. So we got 2 different sources. The bottom box is from Bob. Mum Bees up in Fremont. This is from Big Box, and then the inner cover, and then the top big box. Let's see how the weights are. Weights are still great on this one. I'm not going to take the quilt boxes off yet. It's March in Michigan. So here's a quick look. They're a little agitated, but they got plenty of feed. Box is heavy. You just leave it be. Test our weight. Very good. If the weights were light, I might peel that fondant back and get in here, but the colony is very heavy. They have food. Looks like it might have folded over, a little bit of a struggle to get in there, but you can see towards the top, they're getting in there. It's just a line to wait. One more. Everybody seems a little anxious today, a little spicy. I mean, first 70-degree day. Alright, so there you go. It's important to get the dead out of the yard for me. I don't like to leave that rotting, nasty. You know, if you see in the video, there's pounds of dead bees. Some of those colonies had really good populations and they appeared to die very, very fast. The reason I don't know, but you gotta get the dead out of the yard. And as you see, I don't leave my equipment sitting in the yard to get the bees accustomed to going to their neighbor, the dead out equipment, robbing it, then that's gone, then maybe they go to the one next door that's slightly weaker or a weaker colony. I don't want that behavior. You leave the equipment around, you're going to get that type of behavior. I don't leave that type of equipment around. In this yard, we just took everything away. We're going to have to decide what we want to do as far as donating frames. You can see I have clean gloves on for this project today, and in the other video I had old gloves on. I don't know why they died. We're still trying to figure things out in the nation. I mean them, not me. The people that are smarter than me and are doing the research to figure out what's happening. But if it's viral, things like your gloves, and even your hive tool can pass those viruses on. So this yard looks really good. They look really happy, a little feisty, but I'm pretty happy with things, and we'll see where it goes from there. We got to get to the other yard. Boy, that's got 4 dead outs that are 2 double deep configurations. I'm not looking forward to that, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yard. There's only 2 existing colonies that I know of, so to even get those frames wrapped out in that yard, if I wanted to go that route, is going to be very difficult. I don't have the freezer space. Stay tuned. Thanks for coming along for the ride today at our nuke yard. I hope your bees are well.